That's pretty neat. As you can see, I got this. Let's run back. And I got it on my device. I got two of them there. And I got a Z2 camera. On the very top, I've got my 4D LiDAR. And then I got this. And if you look at the bottom, let me get a little closer. Alright. Give me a minute and I'll refocus it. So as you can see, I got my two arms there, and I got an iRobot Create 3. Look at the very bottom of it, you can see it. And I've got a AGX, NVIDIA AGX ARM down there running the whole shebang. So that's nice. But I guess what you really want to see is the arms. So we're going to move forward. There we go. And there they are. They're pretty neat. They're set up in the teleportation mode, so once I give a good look at them, see, so they're in there pretty good. One's a follower, and one's the leader. And one, the follower has 12-volt motors, and the leader has 5-volt motors. But you know, they both can do the same thing. I mean, you could use the leader as another arm if you wanted to. Now, won't be able to pick up very heavy things, but you can still use it. So, and they're pretty neat. What I'll do is, let's see if we can, I'll back it up a little bit and see if we can get it to do some magic. As you see, it's in teleportation mode, so when you pick one up, the other one does the same thing. And the way I set them up, they kind of opposite, so they go in opposite directions. Got this here. Arr, arr. So they're actually really neat little units. I'm going to have a lot of fun with these, I can tell. Cheers! Cheers! So, like I say, I know this one has this little lead here for testing. But you can replace that with a finger like on the other one. And just use it as an arm also. Like I say, it's 5 volts, so it won't be able to be as powerful. But it'll work. And I'm going to show you later, there's a little program that comes with these that you can actually manipulate all these things individually. So I'm going to show you that. Here, let's see if we can get some scissors in there. See. Be gone, scissors. Alright. Cheers. They're neat. I like them a lot. I'm going to have a lot of fun with these, I can tell. So, alright. I'm going to show you some things I found out about them. So, if you want to stick around and see that, you know, go for it. Anyway, so this is the one you're going to want. This is the best one I've seen. It's pretty clear putting the arms together. LeRobot SO-ARM101, you know, and he doesn't. There's not much speaking in here. There's just like visual. One thing I'd like to point out though is, see these little motors right here? Make sure you have them in order because they come in different gear ratios. And the other thing I did is, you see there's a silver piece right there. There's a piece right there on the top of these motors. There's a disc that goes on top of that, where there's two sized discs. One is for the top and one for the bottom. Two different sizes. And it took me a while to figure that out. I tried to put a smaller one on the top one, and it didn't work out. But anyway, make note of that. And then they have this device here, this little program where it sets everything up. And that's a pretty neat little program. So when you download it and you get it going, there's a Ubuntu version of this, but I couldn't get it to work. So I had to do this with all my on a Windows machine. So when you get it done, and this is what you want, FD1985, double click on it again, FD, and it really didn't have much problem. Comes COM3, you want to set this at like whatever, 10 million, open it, and then search. And you can see I've already got mine. What you're going to do is you're going to go through, and as they show you in the instructions, you're going to name them. And they're for all the pivot points and stuff like that. And then, so what it is, let's go to 5 here, because that's the, move this over here. because 5 is the arm turning. So we got that. And what's neat about this is, you know, you can actually work this from here. That's what these tools are for. You can see me turning it. And I want to notice, like, you got your position. So what you do is, a lot of times you want to set your positions. The way these are set up, these go from 0, I think, to 4229 is a 360 rotation. So what you do is you want to go in and set your positions up, you know, min and max and stuff like that, and then they go in and tell you that. So, but like, if you haven't set it correctly, you just click the sweep down here, and it'll rotate to the min and max positions automatically. That's pretty neat. And you got your feedback up there, your feedback from up here, or you can stop it, and then you just move it manually like this. That's pretty neat. But it can't go, once you go min max, it won't go past it. See, I'm back here and it won't go. It's got to be in the min max window for it to do its thing. So that's pretty neat. And then you get your feedback from up here. Now this is, like I say, I work for the industrial servos. That's kind of my job. And this is these little tiny servos are quite impressive, I'll tell you that. And the feedback you get and the parameters that you can tweak with, I mean, I'm really quite impressed with it. So, and here's the programming you're going to be getting in this. When you set them up individually, you're going to be setting up your the numbers that they are. Let's see, it tells you. Oh, here's where you set your min and max positions, right here. And the best way to do that is you can once you got it set up, you can grab these units and then twist them. You turn them around on your own, and as you turn them, you know, you can see the feedback will come here from the position as you manually turn them. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, it's bound up. It's on. Let's see. Let's turn it off. Torque enable. You don't want torque enable. Now I can turn it. As you can see, the position, you're seeing the position. So what you do is you rotate it one way, that's min, that's max, and then you go put that in your min max windows over here. Your min max ones. And you want to do that because you don't want these things binding up, because they don't like that very well. And then you really don't mess with any other things. You have to mess with the ID, because that's what positioning, that's how it positions itself in the arm. So that's pretty neat. And the other one that you might want to mess with is position offset right here. Now what you do that is before you do that, there's one, I think it's here, torque position. Where is that? Torque limit. No. Torque enable. Like right here, and it tells you to put like a number in. I think it's 120 or something like that. That's important because that, and they'll tell you when they're because that sets like your range of the motion of your arms. Because if you don't set it right, these devices are set. You set up their rotation sequence. Like if they go in the negative or they go in the positive, or the way you set them up. These are set up to go from like 0 to like 4 to the other number, and that's the full rotation. So you want to make sure that's correct, because the problem I had is when I didn't set this one correctly, because I couldn't see it. I wasn't wearing my glasses, so I put the wrong number in. I figured that out because I was getting negative numbers. And then still, what you do is you want to, here's a position offset. Once you get these on here, and you get it to where it goes 0 to 4 to whatever rotation, you want to make sure that that is the rotation of the arm. So what happens if you don't do that, it'll go to like 0, and then you rotate it and you're not done with a full rotation, and it flips over as it goes from 422 back to 0 again, and it starts that sequence again. So what happens is you want to make sure that your rotation doesn't flip over. Like it goes from, it's in the 0 to 4 whatever window. And sometimes to get that correctly, you have to put numbers in this offset. That just offsets the physical position, so when the output from it will be like in the window you want. You don't want it to flip over. And I mean flip over, you don't want it to go from 0 to 420 or whatever, and then flip over to 0, and then keep on counting up to finish up its rotation. Because sometimes it'll start at 700, count up to 4,000 something, flip over to 0, and then it's counting up again. You don't want it to do that. You want your rotation to be in a window of 0 to 42 whatever. That is done by here, this offset. But other than that, those are the things I had to mess with. Like I say, this is when you really want to get into it. All these things. This is how you're going to set your, I guess, the PID control of the device. So if you're gripping something and it's shaking, what it's trying to do is it's trying to overshoot. It's overcompensating. So there's an algorithm in here that tells it, to control it. Don't try too hard. When you're getting so fast, slow down. When you're coming to the end, slow things down before you actually come to the end. That's a lot of these parameters are. So this is going to be pretty interesting. So like I say, we'll go back to here, debug. Like there's all of these arms and stuff like that. 1, 2, 3, and 5 is the gear. So like I say, or the little clipper. So don't be afraid to play with these. This is a lot of fun. All right, I guess that's it.